because I can't just do it. I have to make it hard and then wonder why I'm burnt out all the time. It's Buddy's Breakfast Bar because we got it from the movie Elf. Shut up.
Raising a well-behaved child in this world requires strict discipline and punishment. Today, we will look...
No, we will not.
Hello and welcome to Childproof, an Airwave Media podcast. I'm Tori Phantom.
And I'm Gwenna Lakeland, and this episode goes out to all the parents.
All of them. And all of the people who aren't parents.
Yeah. We get a gajabillion emails a week, which we love. And at least half of them, so many of you, not just explain, you make us intimately understand that you don't have kids. You have no intention of having kids. You don't think you ever want to bring kids into this world, but you still love us. Yo, you don't have to be a parent to like this podcast. I promise. We're unoffended that non-parents are listening.
You don't have to apologize. We're happy you're here no matter what your status of children is. we're glad
But since we're talking about emails, we promised an email roundup. Let's do that.
But first, let's start the timer.
Do we have to?
Yes.
All right, so this first one comes from Crystal. Hi, Gwenna and Tori. I have been listening to the Childproof podcast since the start, and I love it. I felt kind of weird listening to it without having kids, but we're planning to have children. The reparenting I have gone through has been transformative, let alone all I've learned from you two. It has lessened the anxiety of how to parent, especially when you want to break generational trauma. Exciting news is that we are expecting our first little one beginning of 2026. That is so close.
Congratulations. Oh, that's so exciting.
I am so excited and terrified, but the main worry I have is change. My partner and I struggle with change, and I am an overthinker. I constantly am thinking of all the ways life will change after baby is born, good and bad. Do you have any suggestions on how to prepare for the massive change that comes with newborn? P.S. I thought the trauma button said trauma dome, like the Dimsdale Dimmadome from Fairly Odd Parents. I guess my millennial is showing, but I still giggle. Thank you, Crystal.
Trauma Dome, owner of the Dimsdale Trauma Dome.
Did you get that hat, man? So suggestions on how to prepare for the massive changes that come with a newborn. I'm going to defer to you because I don't think anyone's going to like my answer very much.
I feel like that's why it's important to share it.
Oh, I will. But I'm going to, you probably have far more reasonable advice than I do.
My biggest
This is normally how it works, for the record.
My biggest suggestion is to lower your expectations and to be patient with yourself. Like, you are already prepared by realizing that you are excited and terrified, that you know things are going to change, good and bad. There is a transitional period after your baby is born that lasts anywhere from 1 to 10 years. Like, there's no, the things are going to keep changing, but it's about being patient with yourself and learning how to accept how those changes are going to keep happening. And radically accepting all the feelings that you're having. Like, don't shame yourself for any feelings that come up because they're all valid. And it's a huge life change.
I will say that the beauty of having gone through at least one complete cycle and being about halfway through another complete cycle of getting a child from birth to nominal independence. Parenting doesn't stop just because they turn into adults, but the older they get, the less dependent they are on you. That's by design, that we're parenting ourselves out of a job, right? But the words we choose are important. And I feel like if you begin mentally preparing yourself now, childhood is synonymous with change. Childhood is nothing but change. The state of changing is your new normal. Some of these changes in the first couple years will come firing out at you one after another. It doesn't feel like it's ever going to stop and you're never going to find a new normal. The older they get, the less dependent they are on you. The more you figure out your own communication styles with each other, who they are as a person, the values you have instilled in them, the environmental impact of the area that you live in, what's going on in local, state, national, international politics, all of those will play into factors and you'll be reacting to all of those in real time. We tend to forget how much change we endure because we accept it as the state of change.
Yeah. Yeah. I also recommend watching Bluey.
Yes. That is seriously the most realistic TV show on all of visual media is Bluey.
Yeah. No, literally, I feel like Bluey is just as much for the parents.
Bluey is the answer to more problems than you think it is.
It's so good. It's so good. All right. Our next email comes from Shannon, who says, "Hey, because I have ADHD and I always do this, Tori talked about giving their kid water to refill the cry tank, and I needed to tell you how I handled my kids crying. I used to make a Kramer-style spectacle to catch my kids' tears because I told them children's tears got rid of my wrinkles. I would wipe them and frantically pat my face." The things we do as parents, I love.
I know. Last episode you were telling us about the potato where you just walked into your kid's room who didn't want to get out of bed, handed a potato and just left. Just no explanation. And eventually the wild curiosity of why did mom just hand me a potato got them out of bed to go ask you about the mystery potato. You texted me that and I did not blink. I didn't do that sharp nasal inhale of what the I was like, no, that's reasonable. That's actually really good. I'm gonna just log the potato information for the next time my son, who is my unmourning child, is like, I don't want to get out of bed. Here, hold this, buddy.
Yeah, it's like you just start asking questions like if there's a minor boo-boo situation, I'll ask them what color it hurts and what color would feel better. How do we get it to that color? Okay, it hurts purple. How do we get it to the yellow you want it to be?
The absolute insane things. Be like, hey, bro, feet don't actually go inside holes. Without context. That's wild.
Yeah. Right. Parenting is, I'll say it again, being a person on its own is the most absurd thing, but added parenting small humans who are learning how to be people and things get silly. It's I think one of my favorite parts of parenting.
I do. I will forever get to lovingly, carefully tease my child about kissing spiders because she watched a documentary or it might have been a YouTube, but it was about a girl who raised jumping spiders. And jumping spiders are admittedly the cutest of spider kind. Okay. Yeah, everybody doesn't have to agree. I get it. But they've got these little green eyes and then they're little anyway, she really liked it and she found a jumping spider and she goes, oh, I can give it a kiss. No, baby, the spider doesn't want a kiss. Nope. Leave it alone.
Nope, we're not gonna do that.
We're not going to do that.
In my house, there was a spider on the wall where we needed to pass by to get a kid's shoe. And we got out the safety goggles from the science kit. We got a broom. we got out the elbow pads from from our skate set. And it didn't go well. My bravest kiddo was like, I got this. And then she's like, what do I do if I get too scared? I said, scream and run away. Anyway, she screamed and ran away. We just picked a different pair of shoes that day.
That I almost sent this to you, but it was a picture of a house that had unfortunately collapsed over onto its side due to what looked like storm damage. Mm-hmm. Someone had taken the spray paint that said "Got the spider." I was like, you know what? If you're facing that big a bad day, and that is a real bad day, Embracing
Yeah.
it with humor is the way to go, man.
100% of the time. Absolutely.
All right. This next one is from Amanda. Hey guys, this was originally just a suggestion for Bibliophage, which is my bookish podcast available everywhere you find your favorite podcast. But it has evolved into a potential rambling, and we love that. Here we are. Enjoy. Anyway, Gwenna, you should look into All These Things I've Done by Gabrielle Zevin. I didn't look up the name before the podcast, so if I pronounced that name wrong, I do apologize. It's considered YA, but it's one of those trilogies I still love as an adult. Set in 2083 with a mob-like storyline, but the illegal substance is chocolate. Such a great read. That is All the Things I've Done by Gabrielle Zevin, Zevin. It's immediately on my TBR, my to be read list. Also, Tori, being from the same general area, I highly recommend checking out SyracuseCrate.com. You can build a crate with lots of central New York goodies that you can't really find elsewhere. I'm now living in Florida and can't wait to order one of these. I'm also looking into getting rats now, so thanks for that. Much love, Zero Sass, I promise. I know you guys talked about mom brain, but I wish y'all could expand a bit more on the mental burnout. Maybe just as an email roundup. Yeah, we got you. Not necessarily its own episode, but I would appreciate some tips on how to handle it. I currently juggle, big deep breath, 5 kids, a full-time job, and live with a disabled partner who is having memories thinking it might be early onset dementia. Oh my gosh, that's a lot. Despite so many systems that I've updated and evolved, my brain is still the first source for everything. Seeing as this won't change anytime soon, do you guys have any suggestions on how to manage the burnout that doesn't include friends, as none of them are in the same state anymore? I absolutely love the pre-shows, by the way. Truly, it is like a FaceTime where I don't have to talk, which is honestly my favorite. Please, please, please never stop these. So worth the $5. Sincerely, Amanda. Woo, Amanda. I loved everything about that email.
This was a roller coaster.
It was.
This was like the best kind.
Like it hit all the points.
Thank you
like that
for
was a whole episode.
Syracuse crate. I am looking that up immediately. That is, yeah. I lived in Ithaca for a while, so you don't know what that is. But Ithaca is gorgeous. I'm gonna say Ithaca is gorgeous, and people are gonna know what I mean and be excited about it.
Our comment section will just be like Ithaca praise. So as far as mental burnout, I think I'm gonna do the thing that I don't like doing. I'm gonna have to disclaimer and caveat something. For the next few moments, we are going to be talking about caregiver, specifically mom and parental burnout. However, much of this will feel absolutely applicable for elder care burnout, for caregiver burnout of adult people with higher needs. It's going to feel the same for professional burnout. It's going to feel that. So when we're saying mom burnout, parental burnout, caregiver burnout, we are not trying to isolate what it feels like to be burnt out in wherever those flames are licking a little high in your life. So please don't think that because we're not specifically referring to your flavor, we're leaving you out of the conversation or pretending like ours is worse.
And we don't want to step into talking about general burnout and expanding in a way that we can't speak to it in the same way and minimize that experience.
We are both moms and caregivers.
Yes.
Like those are things that we can speak to from our own, not clinical, not professional experience. We are trench experienced.
Right. And we're
anecdotal experts. We're not even experts.
No, we're not experts. But I have added having a kid with disabilities, but that is still very anecdotal. So again, we're not experts.
And we're not leaving you out of the conversation, but I'm going to use the term mom burnout for the rest of the conversation. Mom burnout is so friggin' pernicious because it's not just, oh my gosh, I am so tired of making every decision. I cannot cook one more stupid dinner. I want my family to be happy and fed and nourished, but I cannot choose another menu. Yeah. The decision fatigue is what gets me. every time. I will turn into a snappy, whiny, worst version of myself when that
Yeah.
decision fatigue kicks in.
Yeah. And I always know that I am like heading into burnout if I find myself going, man, I hope practice gets canceled. Like that's where I'm like, ooh, I need to make an adjustment because I'm clearly I love going to practice. You know, like that's
Mhm.
and so if I'm like, I hope that gets canceled, I'm like, oh, I need to make an adjustment. And it can be really hard when your plate is overflowing and
Mhm.
there's nothing you can take off of it. And you
Right.
realize this is just how it is.
Right.
It's hard.
And you're right. I have some of my best friends. I could count 5 people that I could call and say, the worst has happened. Please come help. And they would find ways. They would go into debt to get themselves onto a plane to come to me.
Yeah.
The same as I would do for these 5 human beings. But on the day-to-day grind, the best I can do is text them and go, it's hard and I'm tired.
Yeah. And
They might be able to DoorDash me a coffee. I might be able to DoorDash them, an insane amount of notebooks.
That sounds like something you've done before. Huh. Also, thank you for all the notebooks.
You're welcome.
They're really great.
I
I
believe
use
they're
them
coming
all the
in
time.
useful.
Yeah.
Unfounded. Available everywhere you find your favorite podcasts.
But I think here's something I do. And I'll say it's not that it makes a massive dent in the burnout feeling or the constant having to be on and taking care and doing everything for everyone. And you're just kind of like that constant overwhelm. It's not that it makes a huge change or makes it all better, but it makes me feel like I have control over something to do for myself. Is whenever I could work something I enjoy into something I have to do, it feels a little better. And that could be, listening to my historical biographies while I'm cooking dinner or doing the laundry. It could be that kind of little thing. Or while I am working on something else, I have a movie on that I just wanted to see, and I can carve out that time where I still have to do what I have to do, but I can make it into something that I want to do for me at the same time. And that's significant because I feel like some people are like, well, how is that a self-care thing? Well, I am the primary parent in my
Sometimes
house.
choosing yourself
Yes.
is the most self-care you could. You can't
Yeah.
unchoose something else, but you can also choose yourself.
Yes. And when you are a primary parent, even like when you have a partner, but there are reasons that that partner just is not able to parent as often, right? Or they're just not in the house as much. You find yourself oftentimes like, yeah, we'll put on the movie that the kids want. And then it turns into, okay, I'm going to put on this thing because I want it. And if you want to watch something, here's this other device you can use. And that is not causing harm to the children. We all know that. But sometimes that mom guilt, when you are in that burnout, when you are so exhausted, it's so easy to slip into that. Yes, it's so easy to flip into mom shame. Well, am I being a bad parent if I don't let my kid watch Bluey? No.
I was going to say that the mom guilt is what makes it so pernicious, but I love that you beat me to it because now I get to say, just give yourself permission to quote unquote be shitty. Okay, listen, and I know half of you are like bristling up. What do you mean be shitty? I am trying not to be. Okay, great. But your mom guilt is trying to tell you that cereal for dinner is a shitty mom move. But your mom guilt is trying to convince you that whatever clothes are clean and on the correct direction on the right size child, it doesn't matter that they look like they put themselves together in pitch black darkness while duct taped to a wall. Doesn't matter. They are appropriately clothed. Your mom guilt wants you to think that that's a crappy mom move. Okay, but today, just let yourself be crappy.
Yeah.
If that's what makes it through it, giving yourself permission.
Your best is still your best on any given day. And sometimes we're able to achieve better than our best yesterday, but it's still our best when we feel like it isn't enough. because if that's all you were able to do, you still did it. And honestly, on my worst burnout days where I'm like, okay, kids, like what, I will literally like take orders like I'm a waiter, like quick fix meals. What do you want? Okay, you want a waffle sandwich, you want an omelet, you want me to throw some chicken nuggets in the oven. Those are all so low energy things to throw together, and everyone is still fed. And honestly, I think sometimes it's my kid's favorite meal.
Yeah.
Like, because it's just easy. It's simple.
My kids are now old enough that on my lowest effort days, it's fancy sandwich. What makes it fancy? There's more than one meat available. That's it.
So
Sometimes
fancy,
there's more than one
honestly.
cheese. There's like, so I will, on my lowest effort days, I will find in myself to either take myself to my local grocery store or place a delivery order for a couple kinds of meat, a couple kinds of cheese, either the sub rolls or one of those big long French rolls. And then I've got every condiment known to mankind living in my refrigerator. Toss on some spinach or shredded lettuce. And my kids are always asked, do we have to have the salad? Yes, you have to have the salad.
Yeah.
And then a bag of carrot sticks. That's it. And then my kids get so excited. It's sandwich day because they get to build their own sandwich and put all the things. Do you want 17 pieces of pepperoni on your, are you going to eat all 17 pieces of pepperoni? Then by all means, 17 pieces of pepperoni on bread is your dinner today, son.
Right.
And the salad. Let's go.
Yeah.
I don't care. But once upon a time, I would have felt like my mom guilt was like, oh my gosh, you absolute walking pile of garbage. Someone call CPS. You can't even bother to feed your children. Meanwhile, my kids are like, sandwiches.
Yeah. Well, and I think the other thing is when we give ourselves a break, we're showing our kids that it's okay for them to take that break too, that they could take the break with us. Because when we are responsible for seemingly everything in the world and our kids see us stressed about it, to see us take a break and say, it's
Hustle
okay.
culture broke several generations.
Yeah.
Us included. We are unimmune. Folks, we have 3 podcasts for why? Hustle culture.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just call us out right there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. So that was a long time sitting with mom burnout, but oh my gosh, you're so not alone. And
You're not
please
alone.
know that if you listen very closely, like remove your headphones just for a moment. If you listen, you'll hear cheers from all over the world of people also listening to this same episode with you going, yes, we're having cereal for dinner tonight. I don't care.
I love cereal for dinner.
I do too. We might actually legitimately have cereal for dinner because it's grocery day.
We do cereal soup where you like pick the different flavors of cereal. You combine them. Cereal soup. Yeah.
We have done a build your own cereal before where we take all the remnants of all the little, and then and then we also add like, do you want chocolate milk or banana milk or white milk on your cereal or on the side? Like, we make it, because I can't just do it. I have to make it hard and then wonder why I'm burnt out all the time.
Do you have a name for it?
It's Buddy's breakfast bar because we got it from the movie Elf. Shut up.
Knew it. All right.
Read the next friggin' email.
Our next email comes from Alina. I am so sorry if I am pronouncing your name wrong. But Alina says, hey, my name is Alina, that I might be saying wrong. I live in Germany, and I'm a doctor on the path of being a psychiatrist and psychotherapist. In my experience with working with adults, the adultier you get, the harder it gets to name the core emotion behind the specific emotion. As a 90s baby, my theory is that it sounds less harsh to say, quote, I'm frustrated, instead of I'm mad at you /sad because of something you did. A lot of patients, and myself too, honestly, work hard on figuring out the core emotions. I love that you use the feelings wheel with your kids, so at least they won't have to struggle with this part as much. I love all your podcasts. Do I have kids? No. And honestly, I'm not planning on having them anytime soon. But Childproof is still such a great podcast, and Gwenna's parenting book, Mama Cuss, is a field guide to responsive parenting and trying not to be the reason your kids need therapy by TikTok sensation Gwenna Lathland. was eye-opening. Also, I'm not much into history, and I've honestly never heard anything about the American Revolution other than that it happened. But I love Founded, and I read a lot, so I'm always excited to hear about new books. Though I think Gwenna could talk, or at least name drop, more of the books with the cuddling winged humanoids. Love you guys. P.S. If you see spelling or grammar mistakes, no, you didn't.
What spelling or grammar mistakes? That
There is
was
none.
a pinnacle
It's
of
perfect.
grammatical perfection.
Yeah.
Like AP English teachers will be using that email
Yep.
to point out that the impossible has been done, and the perfectly constructed email was in fact written.
I really, there was no question in this email, but I was like really excited to talk about it because like
The feelings wheel.
yeah, because it's the feelings wheel and I am who I am. But honestly, like that's one of the reasons that I started using the feelings wheel with my children, because in my own therapy, I had to learn to figure out what I was feeling. Like as an adult, I had to go,
Yeah.
okay, like I feel bad, but there's more behind it. And
But
it
there's
is
kind of
yes.
bads, yeah.
there, and it is so much easier to work through your feelings when you know what the heck you're feeling. Turns out you can't really employ the correct coping mechanisms if you don't know what exactly you're feeling.
Do you have a feelings wheel pillow?
I don't, but I do have this whole cardboard set up to make a giant feelings wheel. It's a project I have planned.
Oh, okay. Because you're going to get to that. How's your mural going?
My mural's done.
No, it's not. By your own admission, it's not.
Well, that's on purpose, though. It's on purpose.
So I saw somebody's video where they were holding like a throw pillow, kind of like this one, the little 18 by 18 inch, and it had the feelings wheel on it. I was like, oh, I wonder if Tori has one of those, because I feel
That
like
does sound
Tori
pretty
needs
cool.
one of those.
I do need one of those now that you mention
but
it.
like the ability to like have a pillow that can experience the emotion, because we're big. We call it pillow talking, and I am not the one who named it. I know I name all the stuff, but I'm not the one who named it. My son named it, and I still have not, like, I am going to have to tell him to stop talking about pillow talking, because the older he gets, the more the other definition is going to start
it's one
to
of those
kick
things
in.
your kid says something and they don't realize that like it has a whole other meaning.
That's
and
already
you don't need to
a
explain
thing.
it. Yeah.
No,
It's like
I
you
don't need to explain it.
This could be later. Yeah.
Okay, but
All
we
right,
are
yeah.
quickly approaching the position where I'm like, okay, we can't call it actually pillow talking anymore. But what I told them very early is sometimes if it's hard to tell a person how you're feeling, sometimes a pillow is an even better listener. And here's the thing is it doesn't have any feelings. It doesn't need the feeling wheel. So if you need to scream what you're feeling at the pillow, you can't hurt it. If you need to punch what you're feeling into the pillow, you can't hurt it. If you need to cry into it or squeeze real hard, you can't hurt it. It doesn't mind being wet or squeezed. So you go tell your feelings to the pillow if it's kind of hard to tell it to a person.
Yeah.
And obviously I'm sitting right there, so I'm hearing it too. But my son calls it pillow talk. But like, I was like, man, I want a feelings wheel so he can point to the feeling and then express it into the pillow if it's hard to express it to me.
And I think the feelings wheel is helpful too, to be able to go, okay, but I'm not sure between these two. Is it possible you're feeling both? Like that's such an eye-opening thing for kids, is to understand you could feel more than one thing at the same time, and it doesn't even have to make sense that you're feeling those two things. You could feel more than one thing at the same time, and it doesn't even have to make sense that you're feeling those two things.
Okay, so in editing, just like cut that and repeat it like 4 times. Like without context, just keep repeating it over and over and over again. It is possible to feel more than one thing at a time. This is for the grown-ups listening, thinking about current events. It is possible to feel more than one thing at a time.
And it can be so complicated.
So
Like,
complicated. Two
that's the hardest
things
thing.
can be true.
Yeah, being a person is so hard because it's so complicated. And you could sit there at odds with yourself going, I don't understand. And sometimes,
How am I both happy and upset? Those two things don't go together. They don't. but I'm happy about one part of something and upset by another part of the same thing, because humans are complex. The things humans do are complex. The choices we make and the impacts those choices have are freaking complex.
Well, and if there is 17 different factors going into one thing happening, how can we expect to only have one feeling about that when there's 17 factors that are involved? And all those 17 factors give us different feelings. We can't just dismiss some of them. Would be easier sometimes, I think, if we could just like turn off the feelings. But then, no, that's not good either. Anyway, feelings are hard.
We're moving on to the next email. This one also does not have a question. Hello. I work a full-time corporate-like job with no telework. I have undiagnosed ADHD, plus identical 4-year-old boys. I'm tired. That's the email. Just, I'm tired. Love, Des.
We see you.
We're just going to sit with like, not like a minute of silence, because that's a long
time.
But like 2 or 3 seconds, just for all the other people out there who were just tired.
So tired. Yeah.
Okay, that's enough moment.
Yeah, I hope you didn't fall asleep. I know, sometimes that moment of silence, you're like, okay, nope. Wake back up now, guys.
My daughter has to do the school announcements. Like, she's the one who reads this is what's for lunch. This is what's coming up after school. Be sure you sign up for this, which means she is the one responsible for leading the Pledge of Allegiance and doing the mandatory minute of silence that is part of Oklahoma's requirement for the start of school. And she's like, a minute takes a really long time when you're not allowed to say anything.
That's such a long time. I would get so much detention if I had to take a moment of silence for 1 minute.
The silence I could do. The stillness, though. You want me to sit completely still for 60 seconds?
I literally don't even sit still while talking to you on this podcast.
I know, I'm not either. This next one is from Lexi. Hello, I started listening to your podcast episode Independence, and I have a question for you. My oldest boy is 8 years old. He is in the preteen stage. What are things I can do to start building his independence? We have a 1.5-year-old, a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old, and an 8-year-old. And I worry that I baby my 8-year-old too much. If you have advice for chores for those age groups as well, that would also be greatly appreciated. I feel like I'm stuck in the toddler stage with all of them, which feels like I'm restricting my older two from enjoying the perks of being older. Any advice would be amazing and appreciated. I also wanted to say how happy that I am that I found your podcast. I finally have a podcast I can listen to while doing things around the house without worrying about my toddlers hearing anything appropriate, as long as Gwenna's language is.
Don't worry. I edit it out in post when you...
I love your energy and hearing other parents parent like I do. You're doing an amazing job. Thank you for taking time to read this. Sorry, it's so lengthy. Stop apologizing to us. I mean, if you do something wrong, apologies are important.
Definitely.
But apologies for existence are unnecessary. Did you just apologize to us for being wordy? Us. We have 3 podcasts because we don't...
each other.
I know. Okay, so preteen stage. First of all, I like labels, but sometimes we get too specific with them. 8-year-old, I would consider that early elementary, and they have their own developmental status. Here's the good thing I've got for you. Through my anecdotal experience and the barest minimum of research I have ever done this, 8 is about the first time that actual chores really become doable. Mm-hmm. Prior to that, you might be doing some assistance type chores, like you have to help mom unload the dryer,
or they sweep and then you go and sweep after them because
yeah. Like, yes, you may have introduced chores or household responsibilities or family contributions. We have reasonable expectations. I can reasonably expect you to put your own dirty laundry in the hamper that I have provided for you. Yes. That is a reasonable expectation at most age levels, right, once pincher grasp has been established.
I can reasonably expect you to take care of your own messes, which means
Right.
clearing your plate off of the dinner table and scraping off any leftover food, put it in the sink. I could reasonably expect you to pick up your toys off the living room floor and put them back in their home. I could
Right.
reasonably expect you to wipe down the table if you made a spill. And on my little list has her longtime most favorite chore has been like using the disinfectant wipes on surfaces. She loves it. And we're
Yeah.
now finally at a point where she's effective at it because, sometimes you got to give it a little scrub because there's something
Yeah.
dried on there. And she just, I think she likes when you see that glossiness, that difference.
Yeah.
I think she just enjoys seeing that. But now
Yeah.
she's got the scrubbing down. Yeah.
I think as far as when it comes to starting chores, the easiest place to start is wherever your kid has the most buy-in. What space in the house, what task in the house, what thing appeals to what he already enjoys doing or is in support of something he enjoys doing? Is he the indoor outdoor kid? Great. Then maybe sweeping up and keeping the entryways clean is a good chore to start with. Does he really like tablet time? And okay, maybe cleaning off the table and wiping down the actual screens. Maybe that's the chore to start with. Every so often, you have to do this specific thing that is in direct support of a thing you love. It's called finding the buy-in. And while you don't have to find buy-in for everything your child ever does, sometimes we have to teach them just to do things because we need to get them done. We don't have to like it.
Yeah,
We just have to do it.
You don't have to like it. And I think this is important too when we're talking about like that buy-in, because every person ever has the chore that they're like, this is my favorite chore to do. That doesn't mean you love it, but it's your favorite. And then the one that they hate. So what is your favorite chore, Gwenna?
My favorite chore is the washing machine and the dryer themselves. I love loading them in and because I use little scent beads, sprinkling the scent beads and putting the soap in. And then I like transferring them over and I like taking them out because it's that fresh out of the dryer. Anything after that can act. No, I would. Okay. No, I hate putting my own laundry away. I hate it. I hate it with it. So my most loved and my most hated chore are directly related to each other.
Yeah.
My family will be nudists by the time I die.
My favorite chore is actually getting the kitchen clean, like the entire kitchen, because a lot of different spaces, it involves like sitting and like bending and doing things. Like the only bending I'm doing to clean my kitchen is when I have to sweep, but I worked at a fast food restaurant. So I adopted this top down cleaning where you start at the highest thing. So then just anything else is it's low.
My husband doesn't do that when he cleans the kitchen, and it drives me bonkers. Like he'll sweep the floor and then he'll
So today Gwenna's internet was the timer because it just stopped working while we were recording. So I guess that's the end of the episode. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Childproof and for your support of all of our other podcasts, Bibliophage and Founded. Go check those out. And be sure to subscribe, like, and turn on notifications on YouTube and Spotify so you never miss an episode. And be sure to leave a rating. It really does help. And we do want to hear from you. If you've got something you want to share, email us childproofmail@gmail.com. Childproof is a part of the Airwave Media Podcast Network. Visit airwavemedia.com to listen and subscribe to their other fine shows like Founded in Bibliophage and a bunch of other podcasts that don't feature Gwenna and I. And remember, sometimes our kids are assholes, and sometimes it's us and Gwenna's internet.